Hello! Welcome to Devlog 2. Sorry for the wait after my last video. I'm still getting used to putting stuff together and recording. This will be my second voiceover video, so yeah, thank you to anyone who watched the last devlog. It really means a lot to me that there's anyone interested in my game, so thank you. If you're new, my name is Orchida. I've been working on a game called Carnation since 2023. The demo was released for the Son of Ez Game Jam, although of course that is quite outdated now. If you haven't seen the first devlog yet, I recommend that you probably watch that one first, since it is more of an introduction to the game overall than this one will be. This video will continue on from that, pretty much. I will link it in the top corner. Okay, so without further ado, let's start! Firstly, in my last video, if you remember, I did mention I wanted to add more detail for Amias's design, and well, here it is. I actually pretty much gave him a full redesign, because I wasn't super happy, because the previous design, his outfit I think looked a bit too much like a school uniform, so this time I used a proper mood board like I did with the girls. So it's a little bit more period accurate, although I'm mushing historical eras together anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. It took longer than I intended to do because I forgot how to draw hands. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, as far as the historical eras, I mean, it's set in a fictional world and everything. Not in a real life historical era, so, you know, it's all fantasy. I do struggle a bit with the designs of, like, male characters compared to the women's fashion, because men's fashion, like, especially in the 1800s, it was always a bit kind of samey, so it's a little difficult to have it not just look like Mr. Darcy's outfit, although, you know, maybe just embrace it, I guess. If that's how fashion looked at that point in time. Yeah, I'm still struggling a little bit with the details, specifically the colour of his chin fuzz. I wasn't sure about whether I wanted to make it grey chin fuzz or blonde chin fuzz. I think I do prefer the grey, because it just mushes a bit better with the design, but I'm not entirely sure. I also made alternate outfits for Mara and May, which I'll show, as well as a couple expression sprites just for other characters. Yeah. I've also been making a lot of progress on the writing. Actually, that's where a lot of the stuff I've been doing is, and I can't give too many details because spoilers, but basically I'll at least explain how I'm organising it, because I think that'll be helpful. The game is split into 2 chapters in the plan, and then the prologue, like the demo, and the epilogue, which keeps it pretty manageable and means I can focus more on making sure the choices have an actual impact in the game, rather than just looping back to the main branch, like one main branch, and creating an illusion of choice, while only actually having 2 real choices in the entire game right at the end of the game. Keeping the scale realistic means I can add more detail, like, on the way. Of course, there are bits that are consistent in every route, and the breakfast and dinner scenes with Alvie will always happen, as I mentioned in the previous devlog, because I do like when games have that consistency, and it's clear, like, what day is which. But, you know, there are going to be different events depending on what you do, so you have got the ability to make a real change to the plot. It is intended that you won't be able to see all the content for the game, or even most of it, in one playthrough, to add, like, replayability, and also just by the nature of making your choices matter, this should, you know, happen. There are even certain characters you might only meet on a certain route, or you might meet in chapter 1 in one route and chapter 2 in another. So that's the gist of it. I have finished writing for 2 of the quote-unquote main routes. I am working on a lot of the little side bits to make the game feel more alive. Of course, implementing it is a different thing. A lot of it is in the game, but it's still kind of in a testing phase, because I want to change the presentation of it a bit, add more expression sprites to the characters, move their positions on the screen a bit, changing the UI. I still need to do a lot of that, but we are making progress. There are 4 main routes, 3 of which will focus on each of the main girls, so Mara, Marsha, May, and then there's a lot of little branches that split off from this, and these will also have a bigger impact later on as well. This does account for our decisions on all of the main routes, and also just stuff like the player changing their route halfway through, since this is a murder mystery, not a dating sim, so you can do that. I did work some more on the point and click sections as well. Before like at the time of the last devlog, I had only actually implemented the attic one and another test one, which is pretty much the attic one in testing. So I've been working on the ones which I'd already designed and written, but just I hadn't added in mechanically. I won't go into too much depth about them because spoilers, but there is a point in the game where you can go and visit a nearby village and just move around a bit, along with plot stuff, of course. And I had a lot of fun designing that because the player can move around with it just using the point and click system with the buttons and everything. So it feels a bit like a point and click adventure game, more than the rest of the game. I might show a little snippet of it for you because it's fun, but I'm still in the process of trying to figure out how much I should show to avoid spoilers but still keep you informed. So I don't know, I'm not sure. Anyway, that's all I really have to say for now. Thank you so much for watching to the end and for the interest in my game. I know this is a very generic YouTube thing, but if you would like to see more, you can like and subscribe and press the bell to be notified the next time I post. No pressure though. Hopefully I can keep doing these roughly monthly. I know I'm already quite a bit behind on that already, but I will try and make the gaps not too long for you. So thank you for watching and bye!